Hey everyone, and welcome to your first gaming video of me here. I'm Andre, and today I'm going to be checking out the PS5 for the first time. You see, there's some games I want to play for the first time. This is the game I want to play, the Stanley Parallel Ultra Deluxe. That's the game I want to play. I can't wait to experience this game.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on the keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-bending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
So basically, this is Stanley's office. And you can like open some doors and stuff.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Yes, you can see, this is Stanley's computer line. You see some telephones, some computers, and some lamps and stuff.
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
This is also like the copy machine where we copy all these papers. Okay, that's one there. And this is the other room. You see some computers and stuff, and some boxes. That was locked too. But as you can see, that door is open. Some file cabinets where you can put it in here. So this is like the room, like the copy machine room or something, where you can copy all these papers.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Yeah, this is like some kind of waiting room, and also the file cabinets and some boxes. Okay, let's go this. And this is another room, a worker room. And those are some file cabinets and some boxes. And this is like
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
And also some things on the whiteboards. Yes, we read lots of, but let me try and see if it's lots or not. This is something.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
You see some tapes, some tools and stuff in here.
There was nothing here. No choice to make, no path to follow, just an empty broom closet. No reason to still be here.
This is a stairwell.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
As you can see, here's the garage in this building. I can see
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished. His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all. None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeated? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming! He yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers were actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground. Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical star field, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I am dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my fears as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just prove it, he would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back. Let me wake up. This is my life exactly the way it's always been. Stanley began screaming. Please, someone wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black. This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of
Ooh, you
work.
see that guy?
But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day. The very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
If you like this video, like, comment, and subscribe if you want to see another gaming video for part 2. This is Andre from me here, and see you guys in the next video. Peace.